is Joelle and I'm your online host today, and I'm so excited you're here because we have a lot in store for you. You guys, we're gonna get into a fun pre-show video, we're gonna do some worship together, and get into a Bible story. You guys, buckle up, it's gonna be so much fun.
Hey guys, my name's Zach, and I'm going to teach you how to draw a squid today. So first, we're going to use our hand, and we're going to angle it kind of like this. And I'm going to take my pencil, I'm going to start at the top of my hand, and I'm going to start drawing down. And we're going to follow the line of my fingers round. And then we're going to curve around the other finger. And then round the next one, and then round here, and then we're going to go around the thumb. I'm going to get a better angle here. Whoops, got a little shaky there. And then once we get around the thumb, see, nothing's perfect. It's all about having fun. So there we go. Now check it out. Now right now you're thinking, that doesn't really look a lot like a squid. Well, I'm going to show you how to make it look like a squid, okay? And we're going to start simply, okay? So that way it's not too hard. So let's start at this line right here, and we're going to go ahead and kind of curve it up like this. See that? So it's got kind of a curve there. Next, we're going to draw the top of the head, and the top of the head kind of looks like an arrow. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the top here and we're going to go out and around like this and up like that. You see that? Alright, so next we're going to start from here and we're going to go around the same way but the opposite way like that and go up and then round it round, and then it kind of looks like a pointed arrow. See that? Okay. So next, we're going to add some more details to it. So let's go ahead and bring this line in a little bit, and then we'll bring it round like that. And then we're going to bring this one in a little bit and around like that. All right, so next, we're going to start looking at drawing an eye. We're going to start right around here, okay? And we're going to draw just a nice circle right here. You see that? A circle just like that. So the next eye, we're going to start on the outside here. Okay? And instead of drawing a full circle, we're going to kind of do a half circle. So start here and draw around like that. And then stop just like that. Okay? Alright, so now we got to give him some pupils. So let's go ahead and give him a nice big circle, not as big as the other circles, but let's give him kind of like some bigger eyes because we want him to look nice and friendly. So there's one, and then we got another one which is like that, okay? And if we want him to make him look extra friendly, you know what we can do? We can take a line here and we can go whoop, just like that. Kind of gives him kind of like a little bit of a smirk. So we can create like an arc right there underneath his eyes. So he's kind of smirking at you. So in order to complete that smirk, we need to give him a smile. Okay? So let's go ahead and give him just a simple little smile. I think everyone knows how to draw a smile. Just a little curve like that. That's really nice. But you know what? He is under the sea. And we want him to look really fishy, right? So how about we give him fishy lips? Well, I'm going to show you how to do a really cool way to do that as well. So we're going to start at the top here above the arc right here of the mouth. And we're just going to draw around the smile. See that? Around the smile. And boop. Just like that. So look at that. Now he's got some fun little fishy lips. So how about we add little details now in order to make him feel like he has a really fun, smiley expression. So simple things like eyebrows, and eyebrows don't have to be detailed at all. We can just go an upside down smile like that, and another upside down smile. Look at that. Now he's got a little expression. And so we can add some more details. How about we add a circle right here, like that, and then another circle right like that. Look at that. Now he has like little spots. So that's really nice. So here we can already kind of see the squid. So you could leave it like this if you wanted, or we could add other fun details if we wanted. Like for me, I think I'm going to make him a fancy squid. So I'm gonna give him like a little top hat here, like that. It's not the best looking top hat, but you know what? That's okay, because when we're drawing, it's all about having fun. And if we're not having fun, then why are we drawing? So draw it around like that. And then I'll draw a little thing so it kind of has like that, you know, band around the hat. Boop. Now he's got a really fun looking top hat. And then next, I am gonna go ahead and give him a fun little mustache. Like that. Pretty cool, huh? All right. So I think we're pretty much done. My name's Zach. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I hope we get to do this again soon, and maybe we'll do something different. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
You guys, that pre-show video was awesome. Next, we're gonna get into a time of worship and sing some songs together. But first, I have a really fun question for you. You guys, I'll see you in a little bit.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Beyond Bounds, a podcast that takes a look at the miracles of Jesus. I'm Mr. Coyote, and today we're doing an experiment that will really stick to you. We're making magnetic slime. We'll be back with this in a minute, but first, we're going to take a look at a man with a really bad smell and see that Jesus' power gives me life. His power can do the impossible, and he uses it to bend heaven and earth just to be with you. So let's jump in and go beyond bounds. All right, everybody, I want to introduce you to the rest of our crew. Over here on this side, we have Mrs. Coyote, who's sharing our Bible story today.
Hello again.
And we have Mr. Chris Merrill. Say hi, Chris.
Good morning, planet.
But that's not it. We have two very special guests with us today. Will you guys please welcome Miss Carly and Livy? Come on in, guys.
Woo-hoo!
Go stand over by that mic. Okay, Livy, can you give me your best sounding sick voice? Carly, can you say, "If only you had been here, my brother would not have died"?
If only you would have been here, my brother would have not died.
Okay, Livy, you did a great job with that sick voice. Can you give me your best crying voice? Wow, you're gonna get an Oscar for that. Carly, can you say, "He's been dead for 4 days. The smell will be terrible"?
He's been dead for 4 days. The smell will be terrible.
All right, ladies, come jump over here. We're gonna get your lab coats on, maybe some gloves, and while we do that, Chris, will you test out some sounds for us?
He's been dead for 4 days. The smell will be terrible. He's been dead for 4 days. The smell will be terrible.
All right, I think that sounds pretty good, which means it's time for our story.
All right, ladies, this story is about a man named Lazarus who was actually a friend of Jesus, and Lazarus was really, really, really sick. Now, Lazarus had 2 sisters, kind of like you guys, but their names were Mary and Martha. And so Mary and Martha actually sent a message to Jesus and said, "Jesus, our brother's really sick. I think he might die. Will you please come help us?" Now, Jesus gets the message and he responds and he said, "Here's the deal. He's going to be fine. He's not going to die. I'll be there in a few days." And when he showed up, Lazarus was dead. So Jesus told everyone that Lazarus was just sleeping, but everyone, including the disciples and Mary and Martha, they were a little bit confused because Jesus had told them that Lazarus wouldn't die, but now he was dead. So Jesus said, "Yes, Lazarus is dead, so that you will believe in the power of God."
So here's the truth. Jesus knew that Lazarus was going to die before it happened. And the crazy thing is, he still let it play out. Jesus has total control over life and death. He's God, and he created life, so he's allowed to choose when people live and when they don't live.
It is hard to think about death, especially when someone we love or someone we know passes away. But remember that we learned that God's ways are unlike our ways. They're not the same, and his thoughts are not like our thoughts. We'll never fully understand God, but we do know that Jesus has total control over our lives and death, and he uses that power to give us life, especially life forever with him.
All right, so we're going to jump back into our story in a second, but right now it's time for us to do the first part of our science experiment. We're going to make some magnetic slime. So first we have our liquid starch, and we're going to mix 1/4 cup of liquid starch into this bowl with our iron oxide. Now I have a glove on because this stuff stains, so I want to make sure that we don't stain our skin. That's why I'm going to mess with it. Ooh, interesting. That's an interesting color. So now that we've mixed in our iron oxide, we're gonna pour our Elmer's glue on top. And now when we come back to part 2 of our experiment, we're gonna mix this with our very own hands. But right now, let's jump back into our story.
All right, guys, so when Jesus got to the town of Bethany, Lazarus had already been dead for 4 whole days. Lots of people had come into the house, and they were there to be with Mary and Martha. And when Martha saw Jesus, she ran to him and she said,
If only you would have been here, my brother would have not died.
"Hang on, Martha. Lazarus will be alive again." And then Jesus said,
Whoever believes in me will live even after dying.
That's when Jesus asked Martha if she even believed. And Martha said to him,
I know you're the Son of God.
Now, Jesus' power actually beats sin and death to give us life forever with him. He bends the rules of heaven and earth to be with us.
All right, so let's pause right there for a second because it's time for part 2 of our science experiment. Like I said, we're gonna mix our Elmer's glue, our iron oxide, and our liquid starch together, and I'm gonna just do it with my hands. Whoa. This looks like I've taken just the worst sneeze in my life.
And made it black.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, I think that this seems pretty mixed up, which means I'm going to take our paper towels and I'm going to blot out the extra liquid so that way we can start playing with this. But while I do that, let's jump back into our story.
So after Jesus finished his conversation with Martha, Jesus noticed that Mary and Martha and everyone else that was there, they were crying and they were upset over the death of Lazarus. And Jesus actually kind of got angry. He was angry over thinking about sin. He was angry about death. And so he said, "Where is Lazarus buried? I want to go see him." So Jesus went to the place where Lazarus was buried and he actually started crying. Now, when everyone else there saw this, they knew in that moment that Jesus loved Lazarus. But they did ask, if he did all of these other miracles, why couldn't he bring Lazarus back from the dead? So Jesus was still pretty upset, so he asked that the stone be rolled away from the tomb that Lazarus was buried in so that Jesus could see Lazarus. Now, Martha didn't really like this idea, and she said,
He's been dead for 4 days. The smell will be terrible.
but Jesus said to her, "Didn't I tell you that you would see God's glory if you believe?" He rolled the stone aside himself, and he actually prayed, and he thanked God. Then Jesus shouted,
Lazarus, come out.
and that's when Lazarus, who had been dead for 4 days, walked out of the tomb. He was alive again. And Jesus told the people, unwrap him, because he was wrapped up in all of his burial clothes. He said, unwrap him and let Lazarus go.
Only God can give us true life. He is actually angry that people have to die. He wants to be with us so much that he bends the rules of life and death in our favor. He raised Lazarus from the dead. Nobody else could have ever been able to do that. And later he raised himself from the dead too. He took the consequences for our sin, which was death, and gave us life instead.
That's why it's so important to remember that Jesus is God. Without Jesus dying on the cross, we wouldn't be able to have the eternal life that God wants us to have. But through Jesus, we can.
And that is our story, ladies, which means that it's time for us to finish up our science experiment. Now, we made magnetic slime, and I think you guys need to mess with this. All right, so go ahead, take a feel. Do you like it?
Oh, that feels weird.
Is it slimy? Is it slimy
Yeah.
enough? Yeah. All right. Hey, Chris, do you want to try it?
Kelly, can I get some help with the gloves?
Now, ladies, see this magnet? It's a very powerful magnet, and we're going to see if we can suck up this slime with our magnet.
Oh gosh, that's cool.
Weird. Oh, it definitely does not want to come off.
I'll make it off.
Whoa. It's so cool. So the iron oxide inside is actually what makes it magnetic. I'm gonna do this. Should I do it? I'm just gonna drop the entire magnet in.
Do it.
You ready? Here we go.
Like
It is gone. And I'm not getting it because I know that's gonna stain everywhere. But that is super cool. Mr. Cody, do you wanna try it? Actually, don't do it. Don't do it. So guys, let's talk about our story. About a man raised from the dead. What does it mean for us? When we recognize God for who he really is, the creator and ruler of the universe, and believe that Jesus died for us, then we get to have a friendship with God again. You have the choice to either live your life for and with God, or to live your life for yourself. That's a choice that you get to make. But let me tell you, living for God gives you the best possible life, and life even after death, just like it did for Lazarus. Lots of things in the world promise you a better life, but only Jesus had the power to give you real life, and he is willing to use that power to bend heaven and earth for you. Luke 18:27 says, "Whatever is impossible for people is possible with God." So here is the challenge. how will you get real about having life in Jesus? That's it for this episode. I want to give a special thanks to my awesome helpers, Carly and Livy. Thank you guys so much. I'm signing off as Mr. Coyote with
Mrs. Coyote.
And say bye, Chris.
I am made out of 99% magnetic slime. See you next time.
That's right. We'll see you next time on another episode of Beyond Bounds.
You guys, I have had so much fun hanging out with you today, and we're so happy that you chose us. Now, before you go, we have a fun game for you and your family to do at home. You guys, thanks again, and I'll see you next week.